All right, we're here. I have been working on this customer's car for quite a while. Today what we have is a check engine light for a shift solenoid, is what he said. Here's some ticking. Of the framing. Let's see, take all these off. I hear a squeaking. I would like to believe it's not the idler or tensioner on the timing belt. Alright, so of course we've got mass airflow sensor code. That's me disconnecting everything, but here's what we're talking about. We have pressure control solenoid B stuck performance. Pressure control solenoid B. Pending and permanent, same code. That's why you got it twice on the screen. Let's boom. It should have hooks on the bottom. Just turn them. Boom, boom, boom. I did not bring a battery picker-upper. I need to move that now, to be fair. Just need to remove this. That's also 10 millimeter, but we also have, this should be a battery tray, so there should be a bracket underneath there too. It's not gonna just come up. I don't think it needs to. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have to pull that up anyway, so I don't want to go any further. And it looks like this is what the guy was trying to tell me. He said there's 1, 2, 3, 4 solenoids, and they come in one whole piece. There's no separating them. You get them all. Good stuff. Phone with the junkyard. First, I called Acura. And Acura says that valve body, because you can't just get the one solenoid and replace it like you can on some, this is the whole valve body. It's $850. So we both had a good laugh. And then I called the junkyard and said we don't separate our transmissions, which is no surprise there. So I'm looking them up online. I'm seeing for $350, $400. But I also noticed that the fluid is low in the transmission. So what I'm going to do is top it off, clear the codes, and if it doesn't do it anymore, I'm going to recommend a drain and fill. I think I've serviced this transmission before, but it's been a while, and I see that there's some leaks that we might need to tend to. So I guess what I'm going to do is raise this thing up and go ahead and let the oil drain while I go get the oil and the filter and that nasty ass air filter. It's time to replace that guy. Yeah, we're going to replace that. Oh yeah. Supposed to be 17. It is a 17, all right. Okay, the oil is changed, and now we went ahead and did the transmission fluid as well. So if we were going to add 1.5 quarts, might as well do the whole 4-quart change because it was probably due anyway. So we did that. Doing the air filter, doing a cabin air filter. I'm going to test drive it to see if the code comes back for the shift solenoid or the pressure control solenoid circuit B, which it will. And then we got to probably order the piece from eBay, where they've got, usually the eBay rebuilders that I've done business with depending on the components, you know, they all do pretty good by me. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be about half the cost of the dealership part, so the customer is not prepared to spend that money, but it's the only way that I can get that solenoid replaced, unfortunately. Just topping off our transmission. And what we want to see before we start the engine up is see it about a pint over full, maybe a little more, but at least a pint over full. It's general on these about 4 quarts for a change. So you can see there's our first dry spot on the stick, so that we're about a pint over full. And now let's start it. And let's put this away so we don't make a huge fucking mess. Let's make sure, let's go ahead and put our air filter in it. That's a dirty filter. That's a very dirty filter. That's a clean filter. I like the way these gaskets walk all over the fucking place on the, make anything permanent. So we're gonna get in the glove box here. We're gonna pull the customer's stuff out, set it neatly on the dash. We're gonna pull this out. That shelf comes out, uncovers the door for the filter. And then we're gonna push the little tabs on either side of it. And release it. And there's our dirty ass cabin filter. Out with the old. In with the new. We're gonna look at our arrows. Airflow goes down. Look on the cover here. We have a direction for the airflow. Look at our filter. We have a direction for the airflow. I want to make sure she fits. And when she fits, she shits. Click. We put our shelf back in. Click. Our customer's stuff back in with my one hand. Holy crap. All the paperwork. Click. Done. Time for the test drive. Oh no. Battery's toast. Fucking shit. I need jump boxes. That's what I need. Two things you always keep in your car: a mess kit and an ENU. You never know. I swear to God, I just did the brakes on this thing not too long ago, but here's the first second. Or is that first second? Holy shit. for a second. Bangs. And now it's banging. It's banging gears. It wasn't doing that before. Bang. Second, third. Performance code. Performance stuck. Also have kind of some low voltage going on there. Cat's chewing on this. It's on there just like that. Now, what I do notice, the first thing I notice is that I have no gasket. So we're gonna have to probably find a gasket. See if it's under here. Nope. No fucking gasket. So I've had this thing on for about 5 weeks. It's time to take it off. And get that battery shelf, because there's a bolt down in here for the battery shelf. But I'm trying to think, like, if I was doing this flat rate for a dealer, I probably wouldn't want to take this battery shelf out and that snorkel out of the way in order to get to these bolts, which I could just use a 1/4 inch extension and swivel to get to. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to unplug everything, but I also got to get the starter out of the way, which has side mount bolts, which is fucking beautiful. There we go. Oh, okay. Lower one. 1/4 inch will try to get in here with it. 1/4 inch and swivel it in, right? You know what's crazy is I might end up having to take. I can squeeze it out of there. Let's see. Maybe get a little vacuum line for our motor mount here that's in the way a little bit. Decision. Take the bolt out of the clip or take the line out of the clip. I can take the. I'm not supposed to be using this other handle. Oh. Oh. It would suck if I ended up taking the battery shelf out anyway. I can't, there we go. Hell yeah. Temporary. Now, as you can see, I can access this and pull that assembly out. I'll be honest, that battery shelf does piss me off a little bit. Fucker's coming out. I got 2 bolts underneath of here. 1, 2, way down up against the frame rail. Then we got 2 bolts here. 1, 2. So swivel an extension to get down in there. So let's see if we can see these. That one is for the snorkel. So that's got to come off. And then you see that one behind there. That's one for the battery tray. And that one over there. That one's for the battery tray. So we got to get 3 of these. Here. Uno. Let's see. Something fell somewhere. All 3 of them. Okay, that's cool. Gotta change sizes because somebody put a 10mm in this hole. So now you got to remove the rest of this valve body. I've got to unplug every one of these solenoids and switches, and we got to disconnect this harness from the top of the valve body, which looks like it's just that 10mm bolt. There might be another one hidden somewhere. Usually there's more than one, but we'll see. Can't see here if there is another one. That's not attached to that. That's separate. Yep, there's a 10mm bolt underneath here. So if I go underneath the radiator hose, you've got your starter power wire, and it is clipped onto a bracket right behind the radiator hose. We can remove that from that bracket and expose, if we can get it all the way off there with the hose in the way. Oh yes, we can, just barely. Okay, so now we've exposed that 10mm right here. Let's see if we can get her out of there. There. I don't know if it's going to do us any good or not. Let's see. Alright, so that's free. We can say that much. So let's start unplugging stuff. before we get the rest of these bolts out. Boom. Those are unplugging pretty decently. All right. There we go. The trick on any connector is to take and push it on hard. That way you relieve stress on the clip, and then it'll just pop right out. Boom. All right, and the rest of them. Pull the plug. Push it on. Push forward. Push the release. Pull the plug. That's all of it. It looks like one of these is still going to need to be squeezed with some pliers. But gently, very gently. And what you'll have too is up here at the top a bracket for the wiring harness that was under there that you disconnected or you moved out of the way. And the only way to get that out of there is to completely disengage this clip. If you can see underneath there, right there. So we'll take a pair of pliers. Boom, she's out. Yeah. Make sure to put that back later. Alright, so now we have another plethora of 10mm bolts that we're going to pull out. I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and put it in that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 7, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. With gloves, man, I feel like it helps me drop shit more wearing gloves. Boom. That one. Not sticking. I made the holes too big. Oopsie. Stretched her out too much. Yeah. Actually, that goes right there. So far, they're all the same size. Ah, shit. You know, you don't know until you pull them out. But guess what? They're all right there. Should I smack it with a hammer? Let's see. Come on, seal puller. Got her. Exactly what. Yeah. There we go. If I ever had to do that again, that's how I would do it. So we're not going to be able to slide this thing out because it's got so much on the back of it. Oh, we get a transmission connector. So I'm going to sneak in here and disconnect. There we go. Got her. So now that lifts up. Gives us a little more access, a little more room to try to pull this valve body up and over and out, and there we go. There's our valve body. Just little O-rings on there, but that's our old valve body. Luckily, not losing any fluid on this exchange here. But what did not come with my assembly is a gasket. So I've ordered my gasket, and that's coming tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead and start stripping down the valve covers, because it's also getting spark plugs, valve cover gaskets, timing belt, tensioner, and idler.